We are in Coleman Park. The site is up here ahead to the left after we pass that big tree. But what's interesting is that you can actually see the land fall away here, and that's how you know that you've reached the edge. So you can see it right here.
Charlotte's a little shy about its history, but we've got a whole bunch, and some of the most interesting parts of it are in the 20th century.
We were beginning a park reinvestment master plan design process that would lead us into a redesign and redevelopment of the park. And one of the first steps in a process like that is to commission a site survey. And so we did that, and when the site survey came back, we saw a structure marked in this wooded area.
What's now L.C. Coleman Park had a long history before it was named for that community leader in 1979, going back to the 20s when there were not African-American parks in Charlotte, and folks had to come up with their own way of coming together for recreation. It was called Clinton's Beach originally. There was a little pond, you could go swimming. There was a pavilion where dance bands would play, and boxing matches and bathing beauty contests and barbecue suppers. And so it was a place to meet your neighbors. It was a place to blow off some steam on the weekend.
When we came out to look at it, this is what we found. It has the architectural signature of a swimming pool because it has that kind of gutter around the perimeter. It wasn't so much as a new discovery as a kind of a rediscovery of some latent history. Interestingly, the power line was a big landmark for us. There's a photograph from 1926 that shows thousands of people gathered around a pool with a structure in the background for a baptism, a mass baptism. And you can see the power tower in that photograph. And then in the 1940s, we see a resurgence. We see this place come to life again as a social club, an African-American social club. It has a number of names. I've learned it to kind of most recently be named Sunset Park, and so that's what I use to refer to it, but Clinton Park is another name that I've heard. It had a swimming pool, it had a restaurant, and it had a nightclub. We've heard through oral history that James Brown performed here, Ike and Tina Turner performed here. We know from documented history, there's actually film of a recording of Malcolm X speaking at the Hi-Fi Club in 1963. So it's pretty cool to have a sense that these important people in history were were in this space.
This park was not just, a place. It was a community of people coming together to enjoy the best that Charlotte had to offer, to enjoy each other.
In this process of reinvestment, we are learning about site history like this throughout our park system. And to understand it and to celebrate it, this site history and the artifacts that we're finding is one of the ways that we care for each other in this community, that we say this place is important. This approach of understanding site history, talking with community members to understand their memories of the place and their vision for the future of the place, this idea to tell more stories is central to the mission of Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation.